All right, if we are live now, let me just do the usual, just tweet the URL for the stream. There we go. And I see we're live on YouTube as well. So, or let me just do one more thing, because I want to see the chat and the webcam feed. There we go, now I can see both. I don't know how's the quality of the stream right now, because I am at our hackerspace, and like this is a very unusual setup because we only have 4G internet. Like I'm sharing a hotspot from my phone, so I'm not sure how this is working right now. So let's see. I can see on YouTube it's a bit laggy right now. So maybe if I close YouTube, but then I won't be able to see the chat. But I will close it. Or I can pop up the chat, can't I? Pop out, yeah. Yeah, so now I should be able to see the chat without having to stream the video back and wasting internet. So I think it works quite all right now. So welcome woodworker. First, so today I wanted to try something new. I wanted to stream a teardown and see how that goes. The webcam I'm using is like 720p. I ordered a better one, so the quality should get better if I do this in the future. But yeah, let's see. Let's get to the actual device. So what I have here is this Redfly C7 mobile companion, as they called it. This came out in like 2010, 2011. And what it was supposed to be is it was a companion for your phone. So if you had a BlackBerry or a Windows mobile phone, then you could connect those to this device over, I believe, either Bluetooth or USB. And then what you got is, there we go, you got your phone's display here, displayed here, and then you could use the keyboard, you could use the touchpad, and I think this also has a speaker or in a microphone. I'm not 100% because I wasn't able to get this to work because I don't have a Windows mobile phone, and the BlackBerry that I have doesn't quite want to work with this. So unfortunately, I was not able. It also has a battery, which I was actually surprised by. I didn't expect it to. But yeah, so the display here it's 7-inch, 800 by 480, which is not, it's a bit low on the resolution, but I've seen worse. And yeah, the way they advertised it is they claim this has no RAM, no CPU, it's all powered by your phone. But if you actually boot it, and there we go. So it's booting, so maybe if I do like this, you can see better. So you can see that it did boot into something, this operating system here, and it booted really fast. So I don't think it's Windows on it or something, but there has to be some CPU obviously running it. And yeah, you can start a search, a Bluetooth search, and fortunately that doesn't seem to find anything. Like 2010, so I guess it's Bluetooth Classics, and maybe there are no Bluetooth Classic devices in the vicinity or something, but you can do a search. You can also show the about screen, and it has a MAC address. I'm guessing it's the Bluetooth MAC address. Yeah, it shows the model, it shows some copyright. It says copyright 2009. But otherwise, yeah, it has this, well, not full size, but it's quite alright. The keyboard, to be all things considered, it's quite alright. And yeah, so today we'll try to turn this down and see what's inside. I'm really curious, actually. If you see the ports here, it has two USBs, VGA, I think you could use the USBs also to connect to the phone. I'm not 100% sure. Then the charging port. On this side there's nothing. On this side there's the battery and power indicator and nothing up front. So here you can see, yeah, the serial number, the classic, these labels. So not so interesting. And I'm quite excited for this because I mean it's quite a nifty device. Like you can see that the hinges look pretty cool and it feels quite nice. So it's gonna be interesting to see what's inside. And yeah, I think it should be also fairly easy to get inside. I'm assuming there's screws under these rubber feet and more here. So actually, I think we could get started on that and see what we can do. There we go. So there's one. Oh, that one. This one came out with the glue. Here the glue stayed. So I wonder if there's screws here as well. So that's pretty easy to get open. And there we go. That's 4 legs. Then it's a Phillips. Right, so we remove this one. It's not super flat on the front, so it's wiggling a bit. Oh, there we have another. There we go. Let's see if I can get these out. Let's see. Oh well, let's leave them in for now. And then, let's see, should this slide out? No, actually. It doesn't look like it should slide out, so let's try to get in there. Oh, there we go. One side. Okay. Wow, that is a lot of battery. There we go. Let me just get rid of these. All right, this way. So we have a 4.5 amp hour battery. Then we have the motherboard. Maybe I should disconnect the battery. I'm not sure, is it glued or is it just, nope. Wow, that is easy. That's really nice. These days everything could be super, something's wobbling. Yeah, the audio setup here is not the best right now. There we go. Ticking sound as on the stream. I'm not sure if I can do much about that. Sorry. We'll try to work on that next time. Hopefully you can hear me, or you can just mute me and enjoy the show here maybe, if you can see. So here we have the touchpad and here's the motherboard. You can clearly see there's some chip there with all this decoupling. Yeah, there's a date. It looks like you probably won't be able to see. It says 2011 there. When I move the table, right. Yeah, the microphone is kind of dangling from the side here. Didn't have a good place to put it. Yeah, I'm pretty impressed by this battery even. Like, it's a really nice flat pack and it wasn't glued with a billion blobs like modern devices. So that's really nice. This is really reusable. I could actually use this in my sub notebook thing. Yeah, it looks like we have 2 more screws here. The build quality of this is quite nice. You have the metal inserts here in the plastic, you can see. Right. So these are the shorter screws. Let's see. Right, so it looks like this is all stuck together. It might not be possible to remove this part, but I can see a connector there. If yeah, documented ARM CPU would be nice. I wonder if I need to remove these screws to remove the motherboard. It's definitely possible. I can see a connector there, so maybe if I get in there I could remove this flex. Then I wouldn't have to stress too much about it. Oh, you know, actually I think it just comes out. There's no, oh, maybe not. Can see in there. Can't really see. Yeah, sorry about the frame rate. It's yeah, I'm streaming from an unusual location and the internet here is not so great. Okay, you know what, I'm gonna remove this because it feels like I'm getting not getting it to budge. So what do we have here? That's too large. There we go. I'm guessing these two are soldered to the, no, not soldered, they're mounted to the hinges. Like the build quality of this thing, like I already said, it's not so bad. I don't, right, this thing used to cost $230 back in the day, so it was not the cheapest thing, but yeah, should move very slow. What else can I do here? Alright, so that's the keyboard. And I'm fairly sure this should come off as well if I pull on it, but yeah, there we go, yeah, okay. So now I can put a bit more force here. I mean, that's... Now let's see the inside. Yeah, there's not... Can't see what would stand in the way of this coming out actually right now. But let's remove the top just in case. Try to interlace myself, yeah. I actually lowered the frame rate to 24 because I was worried the internet here is gonna be crappy, so transfer as little data as possible. The keyboard lifts, it actually might lift. I can see here there's some tabs. Yeah, you know what, actually, yeah, I think the keyboard, now it's bottom heavy. Let me just get in there. No, that's too thick. Maybe these guys. Yeah, I think if I get in there, I can flip it up. Maybe. Yeah, there's one. There's a second. And there we go. Yeah, so the keyboard, there we go. I can see some interesting logos, but first we can have a quick look at the keyboard. There's a serial number, there's a supplier information on it, and yeah, it does say 2009, 2010. I don't know if the focus will... I think I disabled autofocus, so you have to trust me on this one. And I can see also from the bottom that it looks like this is this classic scissor mechanism. Yeah, there you go. The classic. Not much has changed. Let's put this back. There we go. So that's the keyboard. This looks really reusable. Absolutely no problem. Like, there's like 30-40 pins on this. Just find a proper header and you could use this really easily, actually. It gives me ideas. So, right. There we go. Can I remove this? Still can't remove this. Don't want to pull on it too hard. Maybe I should attack from the other side, but I'm not sure if that will give me much over there. Right, so this frame seems to come off. There we go. Yeah, maybe there's more screws actually inside. Okay, so that's how you do this part. There we go, another one. Luckily it's not so old, it's like 9 years old. Compared to the libretto that I tore down, the plastic was just going everywhere. It was in pieces by the end of the teardown, unfortunately, because it was so old. But this one, the plastic seems to be still in pretty good shape. So good so far. I think my chisel here lost its sharpness. There you go. So yeah, this comes perfectly. So this comes off, no problem there. So good so far. Here's you can see the hinge. So there's 2 screws, 2 more on this side. There's the power button and right. So I need to remove the hinge here because it screws into the metal that's around the motherboard, and I believe that's what's holding everything here. Here we have a antenna. I wonder is this a Bluetooth antenna? There is a footprint for a chip antenna there, but they went the cheaper way, apparently. Right, so let's remove the other screws. It's gonna be interesting also to look at the LCD. Could it be reused? Like, is there a marking on it? Is it some sharp LCD, as many of these kind of devices do? Is it, what's the interface? Is it RGB? Is it SPI? Is it LVDS, DSI? Right, so these screws all seem the same. Whoa, they went everywhere. Sorry for that noise. There we go. So now, there, see, so that immediately released the motherboard. Nice, alright. remove this. Here we have the backlight. So there is an inverter. That's a very standard connector for those. Here's the metal frame. This is seriously, I'm really impressed how well this is built. Here we have the motherboard. There it is. Here we have the motherboard. And what we can see here, and this is an FPGA. It's a Xilinx Spartan XC3S500E. Then here we have some micron technology. So I would assume this is, it looks like a RAM. And then here it's an NXP ISP17. I'm actually gonna Google that. What is it? So it's a ISP1760BE. And this is a SDIO. Interesting. High-speed serial bus host. All right. High-speed USB host controller for embedded application. Okay, so this is the USB controller. Interesting. So I wonder how this actually works. Like, are they running a soft CPU? Yeah, exactly. The possibilities of the FPGA. Like, yeah, exactly. Are they running a soft CPU on it with that system, or what the heck is happening there? This is really, really interesting. And it's a BGA. This RAM is also BGA, but shouldn't there be? Oh yeah, there. I'm guessing that's some SPI flash that actually has the configuration for the FPGA, because I mean you need that for the FPGA. So this is a 25P80, and then there's a blob on top of it for reasons. Then we have a few more. There's another ST chip here by the display connector. And the display connector seems to have 4 differential pairs going through, I guess it's an inductor or a ferrite. Right, is it an FPGA? I'm not sure if back in I'm not sure if back in 2000 was the Xilinx Zinc a thing already. Let me just Google this. XC3S500E. So this is Spartan 3E. Loading the datasheet. I don't believe it has the ARM core in it. Yeah, let me just zoom in here. 3S500. Right, so this has 500 system gates, equivalent of 19,000 logic cells. Right. Then it has like 136K RAM bits. Yeah. So that's quite interesting. Let me just allow. Right. Yeah, James posted the. I can post the datasheet for the host connector as well. Where is it? There we go. There's the datasheet for the host. Maybe it's not super interesting, but it's a big chip. Then here we have the ADV1725, which it's an analogs devices, something for the VGA, some kind of. And then lastly here we have let me just look closely at this. And there's no logo on it, but I mean it's right next to the keyboard, so yeah, it goes from the keyboard, it goes to this chip. So this is probably some keyboard driver or parallel to serial, something like that. And then here we have huge inductor. So this is, yeah, I mean, this was the battery this was the battery connector. Here's the charging, the power supply connector. So this is all charging circuitry. You can see really nice stitching here on these huge power pores or planes. That's the word. Oh, how interesting! Now I noticed here. I don't think you can see the with this quality, but this header here, there's a silk saying FPGA JTAG. Very interesting. So yeah, it's just an SMD header, and I'm sure you could reverse the it out on a JTAG connector. It doesn't take that much time. Yeah, what else do we have here? I'm thinking now, since this is the antenna, this chip might be something Bluetooth related. Although it's an ST, so I think it's only recently that ST went into the Bluetooth game. Not sure. Is there anything more interesting on this board? It says Rev2 2008. So the deeper, more inside we go, the more the backwards we go with the dates. Yeah, here's the. Sorry, I was out of frame. Here's the power button. Status LED. Yeah, that's all standard stuff. Yeah, so there you go. I am very surprised that it's an FPGA. Wow. They really put some, like, really worked on this properly. Like, what do I mean? I mean, that they could have gone with an MCU and be done, but no, they actually created proper hardware for it. There's one more connector here that actually looks like a very small USB Type-C, which obviously not back then, but has too many pins for a USB micro, so I'm not sure what that connector is over there. Okay, so that's quite interesting. I will post higher quality photos on Twitter. Don't you worry about that. I think it's interesting also to look at the display. The display is not touch. I didn't mention that before, but it's interesting nevertheless. Oh, right, so how is this hinge still staying? Right, the hinges go here. That's how. Oh, was the live stream offline? Oh, damn, I spoke a lot. I wonder if it was recorded at least. I don't know at what point did I lose? Hi Kilobyte, hi Benjamin. Yeah, I was discussing more stuff that's on the motherboard. I'm not sure if I got disconnected, if it was recorded, so that's kind of sucky. Yeah, exactly. What is it running the Bluetooth stack on? I was wondering, since this is where the antenna is, there's some chip here. Could that be some kind of Bluetooth chip? But it's an ST chip, so I think ST started doing Bluetooth fairly recent, in recent years. So I'm not sure. But yeah, I was going away from this. I was actually getting here to continue. So I mentioned this doesn't have a touch display, but it's still quite interesting. The connector actually looks fairly standard in what I've seen in laptops. Like you have the backlight here, and then you have the display there. So I think it could be LVDS actually. Oh, yeah, so that came off. That's nice. There you go. Did I mention? Right, I did mention the connector for the display here has four differential pairs. So that makes me think LVDS. Right, so now we can get to the display. Right, I know Eric was doing Bluetooth chips, but was that with ST? Right, ST Ericsson. Never mind. Yeah, this thing, depending where you look, like on the motherboard it says 2008, on the keyboard it says 2011, and I think it came out like, yeah, around 2011. Or maybe the keyboard is slightly newer. See, like this is so easy, like I can, this thing, like teardown ability, 10 out of 10. So far at least. The only problem might be gluing back these rubber feet, because the glue seems to stay on the screws. Yeah. Okay, so we have these really big gaps here, which are perfect for the tool. It's almost like they wanted you to tear this down. Okay. Oops, clicked it back together. Seriously, this is... Oh, I'm loving this. How easy this is. Oh, there might be 2 more screws there. I don't know if the chat works if the stream goes offline, so just in case it does, let me know if I go offline again. But I think it's possible that it might stop working when there's no chat going on. Yeah, there's 2 more screws there. And it's all Phillips screws, it's not any crazy triangular or whatever screws. Yeah, I think I will post photos on Twitter of me assembling it. So I will start from the inside, and then as I'm assembling it, I can take the photos. All right, so this came off. Easy peasy. And there you go. That's boring. That's really boring. So there's the backlight. There's the display. Oh, we got some glue. Or, huh. Do you think there's a screw up there? That would be strange. Let me use a bit of force. Okay, this thing is not budging. Wouldn't want to destroy the screen, it's so nice. Okay, that was just glue. There we go. I'm interested, I'm wondering, okay, so even if the glue kinda doesn't work then, the display is still held here in the middle with the plastic, so that's alright. Right, so there you go, there's these rubber feet here. 2 stayed here and 2 went on the back of the display. So that's it, there's not much here. Oh yeah, so now I remember, there was no speaker or microphone, at least that I could notice. Let's go back. Let's have a quick look here. Like, where was the grill on that thing? Okay, there we go. So this was like this. And there is a grill you can see here. So I was thinking that there might be a speaker there, but it doesn't look like it. I mean, that's... Nope. So no speaker or microphone on this thing, which is a bit strange because yeah, the keyboard's now deep under other parts, but there is a answer call and decline call keys on the keyboard, so it is meant for picking up calls, but if you have to pick up the phone to talk, then why even have those keys? I mean, the decline I can get. Okay, there we go. So remove that. Hopefully I won't get shocked too hard by the voltage here. Well, that's coming up easily. Okay, so there seems to be, yeah, so there's some driver board here. Right, the backlight goes directly into the display, so that's good. I think I can, yeah, there's a label here. I can see it's a Inolux, I don't know how you pronounce that. Okay, that's enough. So yeah, this seems to be the converter board, and it says here LVDS, so you have LVDS in, and then whatever out. Maybe it's RGB out. That would be interesting. There is a chip here that I can barely read out because like there's some glue residue on it. But you know what? Let's Google that one as well. So what do we have here? It's EK6702, I believe. Yeah, that sounds. And Google shows a lot of flights to Emirates. So LVDS. There. Yeah, okay. Sky will take. Oh, I got a doc document. Yeah, someone Google that while I'm doing the other thing, because right now I can't really deal with this. There it is. Let's see if we can. Wow, this PCB is super thin. It's like 1 millimeter, maybe it's a 0.8. So I would really like to not break it in half. Oh, there's a lot of glue there. It's really bending here. But if you just give me a second, I can grab one thing. Meanwhile, you can enjoy this. And we're back. Assuming that stream didn't die, let me know. So I have these cards here that I think could help. It's budging. Because it would be interesting if this was RGB, then this board could just go away if you wanted to reuse this screen, because I get that maybe for FPGA, LVDS is better, but oh, there you go. Whew, that was, holy crap, that's a lot of glue. I don't know if you can see. There's these huge glue pads. Yeah, so there's the model. You can Google that in a second. There's another PCB which looks like it's just, or maybe not. There's two flex PCBs going there. So there's no silk on the back here. Not much really here, except there's some number here. What datasheet did you get, James? Checking the link that James posted. EK6703, that's close enough. It's a timing controller, yeah. Yeah, that's really nice, because at least from the pinout, it looks like it's LVDS to RGB, isn't it? Or maybe not, but let's see what this returns. So it's OSD08G0TN03. It returns, interesting, returns some LCD results. Display size. I think this is some like pretty standard like converter board over here. Yeah, this is really slow. So I will also post the number that's on the board and let you Google around. Alright, so this is what's on the PCB over here. And then for the display, we have AT070TN82. And there is a data sheet on eLinux. Here's the data sheet for this display. So what are we dealing with here? 7-inch 800 by 480, that checks up. There's a pinout, but I wonder if it's the pinout of this or these. This is like, how do they name this here? It's a 60-pin connector over here. And yeah, and the datasheet has 60 pins as well. So that's really cool. And then I can see it's, what do we have here? Gamma voltage levels. Wow, okay. And then R, G, and B, yeah. And then more are gamma voltages. Interesting, I don't think I've seen one like that with the gamma voltages, but it's RGB, so that's quite interesting. I mean, if I were to like upcycle that one, you could also just replace the display with something easier to drive. But yeah, this has potential, I think, or even LVDS if you're feeling adventurous. So I'm gonna glue this back here, cover it. Or maybe I shouldn't, because I want to have photos of this later. But let's see, we've been running 45 minutes. I'm not sure if there's much more to say actually about this. This was pretty fast. No, this is correct. No, this is correct. It's upside down for me. I think this camera is upside down. But let's see, let me clean up my workspace here. There you go, so there's the display. And there's the motherboard. Yeah, not sure what else can be said about this. Maybe someone, when I post the photo, sees something interesting there. I mean, if the bitstream, the configuration is here on a SPI or EEPROM or whatever this is, I mean, that's a specific format for the Xilinx, so it's not gonna be so useful to dump that. But I'm wondering, there was a wallpaper, those images, are those also in there in the bitstream? Because that you could dump probably. Not that it's that interesting, but yeah. There's the motherboard. And then we have the side, or the thing that was on the back of it. We have the LCD frame. There's not enough space on this, in this window here. There's the, yeah, this is actually the front. So here we have the touch pad, but I don't think we can actually do much about it. It looks like it's like sonic welded. I don't think you can see that very well, but both the PCB and the plastic part of it looks sonic welded, so can't do much. There's a light tunnel here for the LEDs. Plastic inserts, metal inserts everywhere. That's really nice. Yeah, this is a cool frame design, so it's here. Then the bottom, not super exciting. There's some pads here for the motherboard. Oh no, that was where the battery was. Speaking of this big one here, the date on this one is 0708, so it's 2008. I wonder how's the capacity on it, if it's still quite alright. I can feel the cells, like the cells over here. Right. Then we have the metal frame over there. And lastly, the keyboard, which is quite interesting for me because of the soft notebook. It is like, I think it was larger than 20 centimeters when I was comparing it with my sub-notebook design. But yeah, this would be really interesting to reverse and maybe even reuse, because the layout here, it's a US, yeah, it's a US layout. It's perfect. Then you have home and end. There's delete. This layout is actually, this is perfect. As I said, this is really good. Problem is you can't get them anymore, and it is a custom design. At least this keycap and yeah, these BlackBerry specific things. Otherwise, really cool. Let's put it